Welcome to the Soul Navigators Podcast. I'm Dr. MonaLisa Coburn, and each week we explore the living wisdom of one consciousness through grounded, soul-led conversations. The themes we explore are inspired by my book, The Joy of One Consciousness, but this space goes far beyond the pages into real-life application, healing, and awakening. So take a breath, settle into your heart, and let's begin today's journey together. Hello, welcome. And I also want to welcome Kati and our very special guest, Deborah Hill, today. Kati, you want to introduce Deborah Hill today?
It is my pleasure. Deborah, I'm so happy you're here. I have known Deborah, well, we went to high school together. I'm just a tad older than her. And, but then as life goes, you graduate, you move on, but we're from a small town. And then through the power and the beauty of social media, we reconnected. And I was just so amazed at what love and light that she is, this person that I knew a long time ago, and what she's been doing with her life. And she developed Nizhóní Sanctuary. And she's my go-to girl. And I send my friends to for if they need to know more about crystals. She's got crystal healing going. She's got the sound healing going, and so much more. And she's always coming out with something new that is just in the healing realm. And it's wonderful. We want to hear what got you here and all these amazing things that you're doing, animal healings, all of this stuff.
But first, let's begin with your journey. Your awakening journey. Can you tell us a couple little good nugget stories that are very personal for you that I'm sure our audience will recognize themselves in?
So looking back as my childhood, I kind of knew I was spiritual, but I didn't know what spiritual meant at that time. I didn't really start understanding it until maybe in my 20s. 30s, I would say, and I really became really stronger, and it was more in layers. I think you talked about popcorn. Mine was more in layers. I knew there was something out there for me. I knew there was something calling me, but I didn't know what it was. But I knew it was something I needed growth in at that time. And actually, that's where I met Kati, is on Instagram, because I had a small little Instagram and it was very private. I was working, I've worked nearly 30 years in the correctional Department of Corrections, and I was very quiet about my personal life then. And so I had like a small group of people, which Kati was in, and I was posting some spiritual things in there, which was kind of, I look back and it was big. It's small now, but it was big then. And Kati's like, I understand what you're talking about, finally. And then I was like, well, it's about time somebody understands what I'm saying. So it was kind of then when I finally connected with somebody that understood what I was feeling and what I was going through.
We really did. So we hadn't seen each other for so many decades, I guess. And then when I started seeing her on Instagram and such, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're from a very small town out in Blythe. And really, there wasn't too many people out there that I had seen the metaphysical side of just yet. Now they're all kind of starting to come out of the woodwork, which is nice, and picking up clients and friends, and we're doing our thing. But she really has a lot going on with what she was uncovering. She was taking these different courses. She was really working on developing her metaphysical side. Her spirituality is just flying. I mean, she's just, when I see her, I just see this beautiful aura around her that that is just guiding her. And she wasn't trying to do it all at one time either. She actually...
Yeah, I always encourage people, just if you have one thing, let's say you feel like tarot cards. A lot of people go to tarot cards first. Go to tarot cards. So when I was, I don't know, about 6 or 7 years ago, I kind of knew tarot cards weren't going to be my thing. I was already down the path, being a medium a little bit, but I wanted to learn because I knew a lot of people were. And I had the most patient tarot card teacher, and she taught me everything about tarot cards. And for those of you who are into tarot cards, she would always say, no matter what card you pulled, how do you feel? What's that card telling you without, now that you know the basics, right? You know what the colors mean and the different layers of the card. Now, how do you feel in your heart? What's it telling you in your heart? And so Charlie and I, my husband and I, we played around with them. But I went online and I said to my higher self, show me some cards I meant to do. And so that's when I began reading the Galactic Heritage cards. And it's made all the difference in the world to me because there's such an interesting deck. So I just tell people, whatever you're being called to, check it out. It doesn't mean you have to stay there. I mean, if you check out astrology, find out, that's interesting. I really like that, but I think I'm not that as interested as I thought I was. And you try another spiritual avenue. So, Deborah, so we were hearing your story.
Could you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. All right. So anyways, I wouldn't consider myself that I knew exactly what was going on at that time, but it has brought me to here, which is a beautiful place. I'm actually really loving life. I wish I would have known it a lot longer, a lot sooner. And I felt like I was going through it at a time when nobody else understood what I was going through. And I feel like the generations now, there's so many people that have already gone through it and have the experience to help them go through it. There's so much stuff on social media now.
And we're all coming together. There are more light workers that are doing the work and coming together now. So that's really exciting too, because I don't believe the world is in all this doom and gloom like some people want to say. We've got a lot of powerful people coming together out there. Yeah.
And so, but the generation from my team, I believe it was 1987. The children born 1987 and later are actually born in a time on Earth where there's more and more consciousness rising. So it is easier for them to go down the spiritual path. And at that time, many parents began to have their own spiritual awakening so their children can. Now, sorry, kids, I really didn't have my spiritual awakening but my last one was like, basically leaving the nest, but my baby got the benefit of it.
We had talked about signs and such. Deborah, did you see signs right away, or when you were going through it, and because I didn't get to hear that part of it, I'm so sorry.
No, I really didn't see signs about it. It was nothing like that. A lot of it was at night. I'm kind of a night owl. I would just look up into the stars, or when I was traveling, I would look up and I just felt that there's a higher source calling me. Obviously, it wasn't a language. It was more of an energy. I felt called to do something. I felt called to grow. I felt called to search. But I had no idea at that time what I was looking at, or that I would be here today.
And how did you reach out? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to probably ask the same thing. So
I did. I didn't feel like I really reached out. I did things that people were, why are you doing that? And I'm like, because I feel called to do it. The real awakening, or what I felt was the giving of the torch, is my grandmother was passing away on the reservation. And I'd been writing to her, and my aunt came and wrote to me. She's like, Grandma wants to move back to the reservation in her own home, and that's where she wants to pass away at. It's about 20 minutes from me over there in Parker. And she goes, come visit her. I know you've been sending her letters and stuff like that, and I've been reading them to her. And so, this aunt, I've never met her. I knew of her, but I've never met her. So when I went to go visit her, I feel like she opened up a lot of doors for me. The first day I was there, and I went on the reservation at my grandmother's house. I came through the door, and automatically it wasn't really a meet and greet. It was like, she's putting on her shoes and we're going for a walk. I was like, okay, like I'm glad I brought my walking shoes today. So we went down on the ranch, and we walked down by the water. And she was just talking to me and talking, and I was looking in her eyes like, I know you. Like everything just opened up. I was looking through her eyes, and I felt depth. I've known her. I've talked to her before. I know so much about her, but yet I knew nothing. This was my first meeting of her. And she's really the one that opened the door of spirituality, the Navajo teachings. She took me to Contact in the Desert. That was another opening. In fact, that's where I actually had my first sound bath. I've never really participated in a sound bath except for there, and that changed everything for me. I bought my first sound bowl there. I've gone there almost every year since then. They used to be over there by Joshua Tree, where they would camp out and stuff like that. But they have changed it over there to Indian Wells now. And you can stream it online now. But back then, people would camp out in the desert. We had people, so many celebrities would go to these things. And at that night, they would have this big place where you would meet, and they had this beautiful sound bath. And that was my calling. Ever since then, I bought my first sound bowl there. I started working. I started kind of buying more sound tools, and I started putting them together. I got into massage therapy. I kind of just did my family and stuff like that. I didn't really put it out there because I was still working with the Department of Corrections at that time. And I slowly and surely, I kept taking more classes. I took Reiki for pets. I took sound knowledge, how to play sound tools. One of them was the flute. I bought a flute, and I was determined I was going to play that. And I started buying drums. And so little by little, my sound tools have accumulated. I have so many of them now.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite, and why?
Oh, my favorite. I say the bowls, but there's this one. It is not a rain stick, it's a rain disc. And that thing can move some energy. You make it circular, and you just keep moving it like this. And depending on how fast you want to move some energy, you can do it. And it sounds like waves, just waves, really slow. Or if you want crashing waves, you do it a little bit faster using the motion like this. And usually when I'm doing sound baths or I'm doing massage therapy, a lot of times I'm meditating along the way, and it helps me to open my third eye, and I can feel everything with everybody. And I feel the energy and who needs a little bit less, who needs a little bit more. And that's almost the difference between somebody who just does sound bowls or sound therapy and a practitioner or just somebody who does bowls, because I have to know what that person needs. If they need a little bit of gentleness, or if they can do a little bit more to push them and get that energy flowing, that's the responsibility of my part. I need to know how those people are responding, reacting, what they need, what they don't need, if it's too overwhelming for them or it's just right. Sometimes that's hard, but that's what I'm there for, to hold that space for them so that they can enjoy their experience.
Oh, I love that. I do. I really do.
Yeah.
Can you, or do you know, have you heard back from any of your clients that, is there a particular, you don't have to mention any names or anything, but a particular client that you gave a sound bath that let you know it made a real difference?
Oh my goodness, there's actually several of them. There was one, and this was a group sound bath. I've done sound baths where it was just one-on-one, but there was a group sound bath that I did, and I used more of Native American drums, the shaker, the flute. It was more of Native American. And before I even start, and I do these ceremonies, while I'm writing my guideline out before the sound bath, about a week ahead of time, I meditate on it, and I try to connect and channel not the people that are going to come, but the energy that is coming to the sound bath, so that I know ahead of time what I'm working with. And so that particular sound bath, I was working on the ancestry, clearing out some ancestry trauma, and during that meditation, I was just crying. I felt their ancestries, their ancestors come in, and there was so much that I could almost hear them, like, this is what's going on. And so I try to hold it back. Let's just bring it back just a little and come as one. And I was just crying, and I was doing the drum along with it to help clear the energy before we even got there. And so when we did get there, what I ended up doing is guiding them through a meditation. And that time, what I did is, in the middle of everyone, I put this fireplace, and I put this little candle that kind of did like a little bit of crackling, so that they felt like it was a fire pit outside. And while I'm guiding them through the meditation, I tell them, let's go ahead, and while they're still sitting there, imagine yourself coming to this place next to the fire pit and calling in your ancestors, the ones that want to help you, the ones that are guiding you, the ones that are looking over for you, the ones that need help with their trauma, so that you're not taking on their trauma and your children are not taking on this trauma. And let's let this go.
Yeah, that doing those can be really, really, really powerful. And I totally identify with that. I've done them with small groups, not with sound bath, but with meditation and bringing a group together to heal ancestor. I can really feel your strength in that, and how powerful that was. And I think that's really, I think it's very, very, very special. And I'm sure each one, each life that you touched, that's
There was not
really
a dry eye in that class that night. It was very emotional for all of them. Yeah.
So ancestors. Yeah. Ancestors will come in, and so I'm going to encourage our listeners, if they're kind of new to this, something that they can do really, really easily. And it's called just a blood release letter. So you can write, a blood release letter, just like dear spirit, this is for me and my ancestors, and anything negative that we've carried from generation to generation, whatever flows. I don't like telling people exactly what to write, but whatever you feel like your generation, your family, ancestor needs to release. It could be the patterns of alcoholism. It could be something far more simple than that. Just negative talk. I mean, negative talk, releasing it, releasing negative talk, releasing it. So, anyway, what I call the ancestor blood letter, is a good way to begin. So you write the letter, and afterwards, I encourage you to either bury it or you can burn it. So I don't know if, Deborah, if you've ever participated in a ancestor blood release letter or not.
No, I have not.
So there's all different ways. I love the fact that you really expanded on the sound bath. And so I'm beginning to do that, right? So we have sound bowls, and now I have a drum. But it's just slow. But I love how you incorporate it all into this beautiful healing. And then you went ahead and you listened to spirit, and you added that meditation. That's beautiful. It really is beautiful. Do you offer this at your sanctuary?
I do. I do a lot of what I call layering energy. So I'm working with sound. I'm working with crystals. I'm working with aromatherapy. I'm working with guidance. I'm working with positive affirmations. I like to layer, is what I call layer the energy, because maybe something doesn't work with somebody, but something else will. And so it gives my clients something different to use. Maybe it's the affirmation. They need to hear their positive affirmation to change their mindset. So while I'm going through, and I don't do sound baths like normal people. Not normal. I do sound baths, and I stop and I talk to them, and I guide them through the chakras, each individual chakra, and we clear, and I guide them through it. And I tell them, if you fall asleep, that's just fine, because you can still hear me consciously. So you're not missing out on anything. But if you would like to follow me and participate mentally, you're welcome to it. And so I stop and I talk to them. And then in our sound baths, I use a crystal. There's always a crystal. So I'm teaching you tools. So you're not always having to come to me. That is my whole thing. I want to teach you how to cleanse your own space, how to look at your own tool. You should not depend on me. I can teach you, but you should not depend on me.
Right. And I love that. I love that. I think you hit the nail on all of us healers, right? That's the first thing we're taught. Yeah. We don't heal. Everyone has to heal themselves. It's healing 101.
Yes.
And giving them all the different tools. And so I love doing that too. And like if I, spirit lets me, maybe that person needs to work on their root chakra, I will recommend those specific rocks for the root chakra, obsidian, or you can use different red rocks as well. Yes.
I want to speak about that because I'm taking a class on geology, which is about crystals, learning about their properties, where they're from, geology. So when we talk about root crystals, and that's how I am a crystal healer practitioner also. And so when you go for a root chakra crystal, you really have to look at that person, not just to go for any root chakra, and that's going to help you ground. So, and I'll give you an example. So we'll have red jasper, or we'll have What did you just say? I'm sorry. What was that crystal?
Oh, obsidian. Yeah, that's exactly right, Deborah. I always listen to what Spirit tells me to use. But go ahead. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Which one? No. Which one did you say? I can't remember.
Obsidian.
The black one? Obsidian.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I had a menopause moment. It's obsidian. So if I have somebody who has anxiety, I will go for the red jasper before I go for the obsidian. And that's where you really start learning about your crystals, because the obsidian is a reflection crystal, which will only reflect what they're feeling. And when they're having anxiety, that's not what you want. You want something more grounding, which would be something like a red jasper. And red jasper, when it is being made and formed in the ground, it is a continuous heat of stress. So what that stone is really telling you is a continuous of strength. So that's what I would pull and grab and use for my client. The continuous strength is when I want to give her of grounding, not a reflection stone that's going to make her anxiety even more. So that's what I'm learning in geology. How to use, how the crystals are formed is how I can pick and choose to use for my clients. I hope that made sense.
Oh, no.
There's just so much to remember.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense.
Yeah.
And do you have a question for Katie? Or I want to remind our listeners that if you have questions for Deborah, go ahead. Perhaps you have a favorite stone that you want to know more about. I'm sure she'd love to talk about it. And
with the stones, I don't know, but then I'm actually being pushed in learning and developing more through other avenues. But when it comes to all the crystals, I love how they just come to me when they come to me. But if I take a look at like a crystal Bible and that there's thousands upon thousands of crystals, I just like, wait, what is this one? And what is that one? And what does this one do? Wait, what did that one do? That one helped the heart.
I'm still learning.
There is so much. I love the medical physical world. I love learning. It's endless. It's just, you don't know what you don't know. And it's like, another layer. There's always another layer. Isn't it beautiful? That's what makes the metaphysical so beautiful.
What I am so impressed with, Deborah, is that you want to talk, like, there are many people that I come across that question things. They're going through their awakening and it's constant questions, or there's lack of confidence somewhere. So in helping in us healing ourselves and us going through our own awakenings and recognizing people and they're going through it, it's about empowering them. Well, she has done amazing things in our small town who has never even really heard of all of this stuff, or they did it quietly and like were confused about it. And she brought it out into the open. Truly.
A lot of people in my community have no idea what a sound bath was. And now that you speak about that, currently what I'm working on is, I don't know if you guys looked at my post or anything like that. I just finished the Lunar Alchemy. And with Lunar Alchemy, I'm also working on some oracle cards, but they're not, I'm not even sure if I could call them oracle cards, because they're not something that's going to give you answers. They're not something that's going to tell your future. What they are is a question. And this is what I want to kind of like talk about what Katie said. How do we make confidence in our own selves? They're questions of reflection. So it's a question, and I did between the portals of 7/7 and 8/8. I posted a alchemy question, lunar alchemy question every day, and I went through the journey myself. It was really amazing. I came out and I was like, wow, I was so glad I did that. a question every day, and there was a teacher every day. It could have been the fire, it could have been the lion. It stopped at the lion at 8:8, and it could have been the threshold, it could have been the water, it could have been the storm coming in. But there was always a teacher for the day, and it gave you an alchemy question. And what it was a reflection. Where I think, in fact, Katie just liked one of them. That was the integrity one. And they're holding this compass. And what your integrity is your peace. Where's your integrity telling you to go?
Okay. Deborah, can you tell people how to get a hold of you? This is very important. We would love you to tell people how to get a hold of you.
You can, I have a Nizhóní Sanctuary.com. You can get a hold of me there. You can get a hold of me through Facebook, through TikTok, through Instagram. Any of those platforms, you can like, share, follow me on any of them. My name is Deborah McCabe Hill. If you're going to follow me on my personal page on Facebook. And it was really nice on here today. It really was.
Yeah, eventually, you know what? We'll have to have you back where we have everything smoothed out. No glitches.
But you were, I mean, it was just wonderful where you were going into it, all of it stopped. And I'm like, no, keep going.
Did it? And the saga continues.
I'm like, this is better than Days of Our Lives. I'm like, oh, she's gone. So yes, definitely. And I would love to come in and experience. I haven't had a chance to be in on one of her sound healings at all yet. But I have to tell you, I've met many people that have been in there and their feedback has been phenomenal. And then just even being in your building, you could you walk in and you can feel it before you even walk in the door. Yeah. You can just feel the energy. So whatever you're doing, and the fact that you're just constantly like, I just remember like you're sharing these different certificates and all of this, you're just like consuming all of this education and experience, and then just handing it right back to others to empower them.
Yes. There's not a time that I'm not enrolled in some type of class. I'm enrolled in like 3 different classes right now. And actually, and this is kind of weird, this has come up and I'm not even sure it really is for me, but I've actually had to kind of work through some of it and help some people out. I can't remember how it's pronounced, death tabula. I'm not sure how it is, but it's spiritually helping somebody that is about to pass away, almost like on their deathbed, and you help them relax, release anger, all that, and you just help them. There's some people that are on their deathbed and they're alone, and really it's just telling them that you love them. I'm here. That's really what you're giving them, compassionate love.
Yeah, James Van Praagh was the one who came up with that beautiful phrase, "death doula," and it's James Van Praagh. He's amazing medium, but it's a life-changing experience when you walk someone through that. It's a life-changing. It's for you and them. There was a complete stranger I helped in Shasta, and she was very close, but I spent a few hours with her, and then and a few months later, my higher self let me see her in bed as she was passing, and I got to be there. I got to help her in spirit be greeted by a loved one. So it was very, very special, and it's not for everyone because there's a You have to be able to know that death is beginning. And so it's a beautiful thing and a beautiful gift that
Beautiful
those who,
information.
yeah, hmm yeah, yeah. So best of luck to you on your classes, and continue to put that glorious shine, Deborah. That is just beautiful. So Katie, do you have any other questions?
Not some that are going to just take too long, so we'll have to have her back. Love to have you back.
There's one thing I wanted to tell. Everybody does not know how to say Nizhóní. And they don't know it is. They don't even know what it means. And so it is actually, and so we'll go back to the story of my aunt. So she knows the native language, the Navajo native language, and at that time she was trying to teach me some language or some words and stuff like that, and it's pronounced Nizhóní. There's always that ne at the end, and I have trouble with it, so don't feel bad. So it's Nizhóní, and so that always stood in my brain. It was always in my head. And it was funny because I just started opening up my business, and I could not figure out what to name it. I'm racking my brain. I'm trying to Google names, and one of my friends, she's like, "Are you serious?" She's like, "You have your name on your Jeep, on your license plate." I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Sometimes we don't see what's right there.
It's right in front of my face. Yes, it was. I was like, you know what? That's it. And so the whole meaning of Nizhóní is a translation of beautiful, but it's not the physical. It's the meaning of going deeper in a much the beauty, the harmony, the balance, the way you're walking in life. And I was like, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I'm like, that was it. How did I not see that? That's the name I'm looking for.
You embody that.
That's the energy. Yes. I'm like, how did I not know that?
Well, let me tell you, that name, at the time that she was developing this, one of my projects was I was helping to revitalize the Chamber of Commerce in our little town. And I had the toughest time putting her out there because I always had to go back. In fact, I took a picture of your license plate so I could actually bring it back and say, okay, wait a minute. If at any moment's notice, I had the spelling of your name, but I could never say it.
Yes, everybody's like, and I didn't have the correct spelling because somebody had already had that license plate. So I had to put in Y instead of N-I. And they're like, New York what? No. And it's so funny. I go to almost any reservation. I've been up north by Flagstaff. I've been in New Mexico. And it is so funny that they see it and they're like, oh, you're Native American. Like it's such a familiar word for them. Like I'm just, like open arms. Oh, come here, sister, kind of thing. It's really, it's different. They just know. They know what it means. They feel the energy.
Well, no, it's great. And I'm glad that you stuck with it. It's like the word, well, for me, it's like the word alchemy. When I came up with, the business name, it was just, I threw so many things around, and all that kept coming back was alchemy. And they are intuitive solutions because it's covering solutions for so many different areas. And I had friends that would say, well, what does that mean? And, I had to really learn what it meant and become a part of it. And but they would say, pick something different. And I'm like, I can't. This is just staying. I'm staying with it. And now the science, I would meditate on it and such. And I would get, my messages would be, alchemy is an everyday word in our language. This is where it should be. It should be nothing new, same as the and any other normal language that we have. So I'd like to do the same thing with Nizhóní.
Nizhóní. Yes.
Anyway.
I mean, and and I have to be different all the time. Like I just, you see that name, it's me. There's no
Right. Yeah, it's like my book, The Joy of One Consciousness. It's just like people are like, one consciousness? What's that? I'm like, really? One consciousness is what we all are. It's that simple.
But we have to put it out there, in the way that it is, so people can, at any level in their awakening, in their journey, that it's understood, it's out there.
Right. Yeah. I kind of see, it's a flower that us awakened beings have bloomed, but those that are just now beginning to bud, they'll get it. They'll all get it. It's just a beautiful thing, and everything's perfect in its timing.
So wonderful. And our viewers, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask, because we're heading into the close of our session here. And MonaLisa, I didn't know if you wanted to bring in Zand, if we have time for that, if there's more with Deborah. To give the alarm.
Yeah, I think it's been a beautiful session, and what I think I'm going to do, we'll just go ahead and let's wrap it up. And so I just want to say thank you to our guests. Thank you so much, Deborah. I know we had some technical difficulties. I know when we wrap up the episode, my husband can do magic behind the scenes. So rest assured, everything's going to be okay. Thank you so much for being here. We really, it's been an honor and a pleasure, and a pleasure to meet you. It's always a pleasure to meet another soul sister. So thank you.
And was there any last words you wanted to say at all? Are we good?
I'm not sure. Let me see. I did have something. There's so much. I just really wanted to say, you know what? There's so much going on in behind the scenes, and I want you guys to follow. There's some really good stuff going on, and the closing is Nizhóní is still unfolding. Is really what I want to say. There's so much. It's become an ecosystem of its own. There's pet care. There's the crystals. There's the sound. There's science. There's so much going on behind Nizhóní that you guys don't realize what's going on. And there's a lot of good things going on that I hope to follow. Join the journey with me. It's been fun. It goes up and down, but that's part of life, because if we're sitting here in our comfort zone, we're not really living.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, totally agreed. 100%. I think for all of us, it's like we grow in spurts. Then we have depending on who you are, some downtime. It might be a day, might be a week, might be a year. Then, that spurt, we got to grow again, Yes. It's a journey. It's a journey.
And you don't have to jump. A pinky toe out of your circle is still expansion. So
right? Just something.
I love that. A pinky toe.
My favorite.
And moving towards it. It's really simple. Set that first intention and move towards it. A small step. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And then it gets easier and easier.
Absolutely.
I love it. So if our viewers, if you want to get a hold of Deborah, you can catch her on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, I believe now too.
Yes.
Or you can contact MonaLisa or myself, and we'll get you in contact with her.
Okay. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining us on the Soul Navigators Podcast. And we hope today's journey supports you in your own awakening and connection to one consciousness. If this episode resonated, we'd love for you to follow the show and share it with someone who would benefit from this work. To go deeper, visit soulnavigators.academy, and you can find all of my books on Amazon. Until next time, remember, we're walking this path together.